This is a Knight Space Spanner. By the way, I love junk radios. Um, I've had it for some time, and I think I recapped this, and I know it was working. So I'm in the shop the other day, and I don't know whether I was waiting on epoxy to dry or whatever, but bored or whatever, but I looked up on the shelf and I saw it. I said I'm going to get that down and play it a few minutes. Radios are like cars. If you don't drive them, don't use them, they deteriorate just sitting there. So try to play everything at least once a year. But this little radio is not in real bad shape. Few scuffs on it. Front's pretty good shape except for this speaker cover, and I've never seen one of these that wasn't a little bit warped. This one's got a little tiny hole in it. All in all, not a bad radio. So but I plugged it in and turned it on. When I turned it on, something popped and it don't play. So I need to go into it and see if we can get it going. I took it out of the case, and I don't see anything on the bottom side that any clues as to what may have happened, and I have recapped this because there's a new electrolytics. Looked like there was probably only one paper cap in it, and that's a I think that's a .047, and put a miler in there. Everything else looks like ceramic caps, but I don't see anything looks burnt or. So the first thing I'm going to do is check the tubes. It was almost like a tube shorted, and, so I'm going to check those first. Well, I don't know what happened. I took the tubes out, checked them, they were fine, no shorts. Plugged them back in, and the radio's working fine. So I don't know what happened to make it pop and carry on and then not play. May have been just a tube pin that wasn't making good contact, and just made a huge static because it wasn't making good contact, and maybe that's what I heard. But I'm listening now to some guys on sideband on 40 meters. I love these regen circuits. Basically, you got one tube that does all the work, and one of them is a rectifier and one of them is audio output. So the sensitivity of these things is just great. Even on a broadcast band, which I live in a very rural area, and in the daytime it's hard for me to pick up anything. I got one or two stations I can pick up on my best receivers, but I've just switched it to broadcast, and let's see what we can find on here. There's stations all over the band that I probably couldn't pick up on some of my better yuppie radios that have ICs in them. As you know, these regen circuits are touchy, and you really have to play with them, but when you do, they're highly sensitive, and I like these little radios. I've built a bunch. Sometime or another I'm going to do a video on some of the little regen radios I've built. I'm not smart enough to know how to design them. I just go back to the old Popular Electronics and Electronics Illustrated and all of those old magazines that I had when I was a kid and didn't have the money to buy the parts, and put them together and see how they work. So there we go. It's working. I'll put it back in the case and set it back up on the shelf.